All right, come one, come all. We are here once again for another edition of the wide world of electronic sports. I'm joined by the one and only Rodney Conyers Jr. How are you doing, good sir? How you feeling?
I'm doing really well, man. I feel like I say every week, man, 7 days is just too long, bro. Like, bro, you've been in the gaming space a lot longer than I have. And, you know, shit changes overnight. 7 days is just too long to not be talking about gaming with the boys. But to answer your question, I'm doing very well, and I'm very excited for this episode today.
Oh, that's good to hear. Well, yeah, I know you got some things coming up yourself this week, doing a little traveling. But are you prepared? Yep. You got your bags packed?
You know what's funny? I'm not prepared, and I say that because the airport, bro, just gives me a generalized level of anxiety that I always hate. I can show up 2-3 hours early, and I'm still like just antsy about missing a flight or something crazy going down in the airport because you're stuck. You're stuck in that tube for however long it takes your flight to get there. But I am very mentally prepared, though, for First Attack this weekend, and I know we'll be doing a lot of coverage on that because we are both fighting game enthusiasts and very excited to break away from like the Smash community for a little bit this week and kind of dip over back into like my fighting game roots. You know, Yipes will be there, Ultra David will be there, James Chen will be there, a lot of cool people will be there, and I'll just call it for what it is. Those are people that I certainly look up to. And still do, even with where I'm at in commentary these days. So I'm excited, bro. I just want to lose my shit watching Tekken. I didn't get to do it at Combo Breaker because I missed it. And then I didn't get to do it at CEO because I was stuck in Jabali Land the whole weekend, emceeing Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom, stuff like that. So this will be my first fighting game event of the year. I could just watch some, like Tasty Steve says, some good-ass Tekken, bro.
Wow, that sounds like a good time, a little Tekken, maybe get a little something to sip on. Enjoy some of those lightning loop action going down there with the Kazuya. But yeah.
You already know.
Well, you mentioned stepping away from Smash, but we got some Smash news to start off the show. So
yeah, we do. And so to jump right into the thick of things, we had what was called Lost Tech City just this past weekend, and that was the big ticket. There was 2 tournaments on the same day. Surprise, right? Weird Smash scheduling. So we had 2 tournaments on the same day. First one's Lost Tech City, a Panda Cup qualifier, but also on the Smash World Tour as well. So this event pops up on 2 circuits, but it felt like this one was a little bit more Panda inspired than some of the other ones that have been shared, like Gamo, for instance. This one had the Panda stamp all over it, and it gave me CEO vibes. And for those of us who were watching who went to CEO, you'll know exactly what I mean with the Smash area. It was much different than the other areas. But it was cool, bro. Like, it was a very chill event. And I think September is a good month for things to die down, or at least it should. At the top of this month, or last month, we had the PAX thing. We had the PAX Invitational, and then we have Riptide, which, again, Asif isn't here, but, Smashers are so weird about going to areas that they deem boring, as if the average Smasher is the most exuberant motherfucker ever. But Sandusky, Ohio was too boring for some people, so they didn't go. And then we had Summit, which, again, not an open bracket. And, in fact, I found out that if you want to pull up to Summit, if you want a ticket to Summit, Denny, it costs $1,000, bro.
Are you serious?
Bro, if I'm lying, I'm fucking dying. That's what I've heard. Now, I could be wrong, but my boy Max upstairs told me he went to Summit one year and wanted to really, really pull up and kick it. And it was $1,000. So, needless to say, the open door thing that Smash typically has wasn't really present this month. But we did have Lost Tech City, and it meant for good storytelling. Of course, we had Mars, and we had Meister in grand finals. And I think it was a bit of a breath of fresh air. No MK Leo, no Spargo. Okay, those are the 2 heavy hitters notably missing. Gluto went to VCA over in Vienna. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we also got to see some new characters. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts stan, Denny. I don't know about you, but I like Kingdom Hearts. Sora's in Smash, and people are like, he's not all that good. I think the character's absolutely broken. Meister played the character, made him look pretty good until he ran into Mars in grand finals. Mars I mean, bro, we're black. We've heard this the saying, the wham bam, thank you, ma'am, the boom boom, the 3-0 and a handshake, all of that. It was a 3-0 and a handshake match. It was pretty bad, bro.
A little bit of a travesty there. I mean, I'm not a giant Kingdom Hearts fan, but I have some respect for people who are able to cipher through all that lore and find the reason in it all. But it seemed like, yeah, it was a bit of a, Keyblade getting in that ass a little bit.
Man, that Keyblade unlocked an ass whooping on a lot of players, but until it got to Mars, it did pretty well. But Mars is really good at just putting characters in the ground. And so I'm actually going to pull up the Lost Tech City 2022 Liquipedia because, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but we talk about this every week. We have tournaments every weekend, y'all. This is not okay. It's not okay. And before anybody decides to clip this or go back and be like, look at Rod being upset, look at Rod hating and blah, blah, blah. We got opportunities. You know what? We do have opportunities, friends, but less is more. You know, the beautiful thing about a circuit of any stature, whether it's big or small, North American, intergalactic, whatever, is that it needs to be spread out just well enough to where if Denny and I miss a tournament and we want those points, guess what? You don't get to go to something in the United States just the next weekend. The next thing is over in Japan. It's over in China. We're forcing people to move around and travel. This forces people from other communities to go to other people's communities. We had a tournament in Cuba this year. Nobody went besides me and Leo and E-King and Chag. We had some heavy hitters who went. But we need more people treating these tours like what they're designed to do. Take people on a journey physically and, of course, with the narrative that's attached to them. Problem is, we just got too many goddamn tournaments, Denny. And it's just like yeah, man, we missed Denny's Throwdown Extravaganza. Well, we'll just catch him at Rodfest next week. Like, what? That's not okay.
That oversaturation is real.
It's just insane, man. So, this is the Panda Cup Lost Tech City stats right here. Matter of fact, I'll send them over to you if you want to throw them on stream as well. But if not, I will also just read off on them. I'll put them in the doc here. Where are we at? I'll put them right up underneath the mango bit. Come on. What the hell? I can't type. Okay. No, I'm going to put it right here. Okay. Lost Tech City 2022. So, friends, for those of us who don't know, Lost Tech City is the third installment, iteration, evolution, not exactly sure, of the Low Tier City esports organization. The first event they did was called Low Tier City. Very strong event. They actually had a pretty, in my opinion, pretty big helping hand in shaping Ultimate as the game first came out. They were able to get the Arlington, Texas Esports Stadium, which is a beautiful piece of work. I've never been in there, but I've seen it in pictures. And let's just be honest, a lot of things are just bigger in Texas. Scenes, food, you name it. And they did a damn good job. Then they did Low Tide City, which is where I interviewed Leo at. Remember, I sent that interview over to you, Denny. We watched it. It looked good. We sent it over to the boss man. It went up on YouTube. Boom. Interviewed the GOAT there. And wonderful time. For those who don't know, again, it is another Smash Water Park event. Very similar to what we see with Riptide and the dearly departed Smash and Splash series. And now we got Lost Tech City. Lost Tech City is the third installment in this franchise, and I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to, or how it differentiates itself from the other two, but it was a good-ass looking event because Panda was able to throw some Panda bucks at it. So, for the stats, shows that we had a prize pool of $13,360, Denny. You know what I could do with $13,000?
What would you do? The kind of money?
I was going to say I'd pay off my medical bills, but that's actually not true. That's not true. Not in this country. Not in this country. But with $13,000, I'd do a hell of a lot with it. Then the doubles prize pool, 1,240 USD. So a little chunkier than some of the last tournaments, but still not where it should be. It was a gold tier stop on the Smash World Tour and another stop on the Panda Cup qualifier. So I had an opportunity to interview some of the players. I interviewed Light just at Glitch last weekend. That's the other one in September I forgot about. We did Glitch. And he talked about how he feels about the format for Panda, how they qualify players. If you place properly, you know, you go to the big thing in December, which, by the way, friends, I think I forgot to talk about it last week. They announced that it is going to be in the LA Convention Center. And that's a pretty goddamn big deal. LA Convention Center, 60,000 square feet. Here's the kicker. Free venue. Denny, we can pull up for free. We can frolic through all the Mushroom Kingdom Mario nonsense, and we can kick it with Toadette for free. Can you believe it?
Well, I mean, that sounds a lot better than spending $1,000.
You ain't lying there. I'm never in a rush to spend that much money on any damn thing. So, the standings go as such, friends. We got Kirby Kid and Nico. Two players who had a hell of a show, hell of a run. Kirby Kid is notoriously known for his King K. Rool gameplay, a character that is laughable in a lot of ways, as a lot of the millennial characters in this game are. We asked for these characters, and Sakurai said, you're going to get them, but they're going to be dog shit, okay? And that's what you get for begging for 20 years. So we got King K. Rool, and we got Nico. So two guys who are playing some okay characters. We got Cloud for Nico as well, and they placed 7th and 8th. Then we had Louis Money and Sen. These two guys are fucking best friends, just about. They kick it all the time. They're great in doubles together. In fact, they won doubles. But Louis Money and Sen had to play against each other, and Louis Money did really well. His Palutena is very clean. Palutena is a 2018/2019 heavy meta character still existing in this current DLC dominant meta, and Louis Money is making it look pretty damn good. Sen, a little bit of a fall off from what we've seen fresh out of the online era, ran Ness, Minecraft Steve, and Donkey Kong. Got 5th and 6th place. Got 100 points too as well towards the Smash World Tour. Moving up to the top 4, we had Zamba, representing Space Station Gaming, of course, getting 150 points towards the Smash World Tour, and ran a combination of Rob, Lucina, and Falco. His pockets run deep. His secondaries are not to be taken lightly. Lima putting on for the South, coming through from Texas, running the Bayonetta gameplay. Another character that we thought had no place in this meta, and is still figuring out a way to make waves for themselves. 220 points. Meister, like we talked about, 300 points, 2nd place. Game & Watch and the Sora. And then in 1st place, and I think this is a double W for Panda, Panda Global's very own Mars winning the whole tournament. 400 points, going all ZSS, representing Team Panda Global. Now, I'm very interested to see how this is all going to shake out, because we got players qualifying for both events. We got players staying very, very busy these next so many months. And when I talked about this with Light, he talked about, you know, the possibility of burnout, the qualification process, how I can't really afford to miss anything on the Panda Cup, because if I don't place in like that top area, I don't qualify, where where Smash World Tours is more points based. So you can miss something and then try to get your points at the next couple tournaments. So a very interesting dynamic here. And then of course in doubles, Sen and Louis Money win it. Meister and SkyJ representing Team Mexico got 2nd, Mute Ace and Dark Wizzy with 3rd, and then Army, Ali, and Curry with the 4th place finish. $13,000, 418 entrants. Where's the money at, Denny? We need some more money.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. We've seen that the Panda Cup has led to, plenty of event opportunities. But even if you look at it from this perspective, I guess, with so many Panda players, surprise, surprise, doing pretty well in this event. Yeah, I guess it's good for them, and somewhat for the brand to see them having some of their top players placing here as high as they are. But at the same time, it's looking a little bit skimpy on the prize rollout. That doesn't mean that obviously the players themselves have put on some good play for what it is and for who was actually there, but. Yeah, I wonder if there's any sense of audience fatigue with the way that things are kind of laid out. As you mentioned, since we still have another tournament to cover, it happened the same day. I wonder if that's taking any kind of effect for people who, like Smash, but Are they willing to keep eyes on multiple tourneys,
Yeah.
back-to-back weekends or back-to-back days and stuff like that, in comparison to scenes where people are having local events and stuff like that, but they're not doing it every week.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point to bring up. I'm starting to feel it myself, and I've only been away from the tournament scene for a week, but it feels like as a commentator especially, or just somebody in the community, when a tournament happens, you want to make sure you watch it. You want to make sure you're watching it for the sake of science, for the sake of keeping your commentary sharp. You got matchup spreads in your head, boom, boom, boom. My issue is that I would just like a weekend where I don't have to watch Smash. But again, 2 circuits, 4 summits, which is what we're going to talk about shortly after this. 4 summits and a main stage. That's the name of the tournament that they also do. It's just beginning to be too much. And I can't blame anybody because we have been ignored by Nintendo for a long time for good reason. They've had good reason to not get involved. So it's like, what do we do now? Do we sit and suffer? Or do we just do our own thing? And we do our own circuit. And then it becomes we do our own circuits. And then we still got the invitational things to worry about. And it's just, I feel like it's just becoming a little much at this point. I really hope in 2023 when the tours kick off, because if I'm not mistaken, they're probably going to kick off in the spring. So that would make Genesis, which is like our Evo, let's make moves in not Miami, in New York. So it goes, let's make big moves, a glitch, Martin Luther King Day weekend, and Genesis, and a handful of other tournaments before the spring that would not make the tour circuits. I really hope we use those 2 months as we're still getting it, the last few kinks out. Yo, how do we either work together or how do we create a more condensed schedule? The traveling every week is insane. Like, bro, and I'm not even trying to brag about Smash or anything, but like, I've always been a firm believer that Smash has the most weeklies per capita. Like, there's just more weeklies in Smash than any other game. But now we have more majors than any other game. I mean, we got more majors than, I don't fucking know, some actual traditional esports. Something has to change. I want a Capcom Pro Tour schedule, a Tekken World Tour schedule. Is that too much? Is that too much to ask, Denny? I've been a good boy.
I mean, I think that, like we've mentioned throughout the past few weeks, just having 2 different circuits running, simultaneously is making it hard to both participate. And I feel like Smash as a whole, I like the idea of there being some, global kind of activity, and so it feels a wider scale and a bigger scope in that way. But I don't like the fact that it feels like I don't remember the last time we haven't covered Smash on this show, because there's an event constantly happening. And that in itself, I feel like, is hard for anyone to follow long term. You don't see any major sport running all year round. If the NFL was, not running 17 games and was running 34 weeks or something ridiculous, they would have that same kind of feature. You wouldn't be able to sell tickets at the same amount that you normally do, or, to fill in those seats year round, or get that kind of, broadcast time. Because eventually there'd be some kind of falling out on top of the players themselves, eventually getting injured or being exhausted, not being able to play through. I think the same level should be applied to, esports players in these situations where, yes, being able to make the decision to go to some of these events or skip some for your own health is definitely detrimental. You're going to have to make some choices. Same with, anyone that happens to be in some kind of sponsored situation. But eventually, yeah, the back's going to crack. I don't see how that would be sustainable in a year with the route things are going for the players and the audience.
I don't either, Denny. And, even some of my favorite stories to follow that aren't, even like the MCU, like there's gaps in between Disney Plus shows. Like you get like a month or 2 off sometimes or something to that degree. Or like there's time in between trailers, time in between films. Yes, they do come out frequently, but I've become accustomed to like, the couple months off and then boom, I get something else. I don't mind going to the movies, but everyone should feel like its own experience. I shouldn't walk into like Thor still feeling the after effect of something else. Give me some time off. Give me just a few months. But this is just too damn much. And that's just ultimate. We got to actually jump over to, oh God, the Melee side of this because the return of the GOAT. That's right. Mango did his damn thing. But unfortunately enough, the prize pool for Melee was, $8,080. And then the doubles prize pool was a whopping $580 USD. It's not good. And that's not anything on Panda, of course. That's just, where the prize pool sat. And so we have Mango with first place, getting 400 points towards the Smash World Tour Finals. Then we have Plup, Panda Global in the top 8 for both games, getting 300 points, running Sheik and Fox. Mango ran Fox and Falcos, just by the way. HungryBox ran Jigglypuff and Ness. I must have missed the Ness match. 220 points, though, for third place. And then, of course, AMSA, representing Red Bull Esports / VG Bootcamp, getting 150 points towards the Smash World Tour. And then in doubles, HungryBox and Plup win it. Mango and SFAT get second. AMSA and Axe get third. Bobby Big Balls and Salt get fourth. Melee had 154 players and 54 doubles teams. Denny, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. What's going on with Melee? We need more Melee.
I mean,
are they burned out?
I feel like we spoke before, even when we had Asif on. There are elements of Melee that people seem to like. Some of the new diversity and character choices and some of the other playstyle and stuff like that and how it's working makes it entertaining to watch. But I don't know if people are feeling like it's something that's sustainable right now with the same kind of rollout. And yeah, like you mentioned, we got more Mango and Fox play and such. But is there going to be a larger issue with the way these things are rolling out for some of the... I mean, you have a scene right now that's got, multiple games, obviously, but no feature updates and such. And we've seen kind of a level of staleness to that with the Ultimate side. But people are finding some things with Melee, it seems they're keeping them somewhat entertained. I'd be concerned overall the same way we are with the overall scene and how things are going, but I don't know if any of that's going to be resolved this year at this rate.
I don't think so either. I think we need 1 year like this just to see how both can simultaneously exist at the same time. But I am a little... Real quick. So one thing I forgot to link into the Run of Show is this. Completely spaced on this. And that's because I chatted about this so much with my boys that I just, completely just spaced on all of it. So I mentioned it briefly as we opened up the show. The Panda Cups announcement is finally here. Panda Cup and... Okay. I'm going to link this in the Run of Show as well, Denny. My apologies. I hate that I space on so many things, then boom, we're live. And I'm like, oh yeah, by the way. Oh, what the hell? Google Docs, come on, man. Paste without formatting, you son of a... Okay, so, next piece of little news right here, all right, friends. The journey of North America's first officially licensed Super Smash Bros. Circuit has all led up to this. Introducing the Panda Cup finale, December 15th through 18th, 2022. At the Novo Theater Sunday Finals. What the hell? I'm going to look this theater up, Denny. Novo Theater.
We're going to need some more context there.
Yeah, because... Oh, my. The Novo, downtown L.A., I'm just going to look up their calendar of events. See how big of a deal this venue space is. I'm pretty sure it's big, but looks like, okay, they got Action Bronson coming through. Sigrid, like her a lot. Danny Lay, okay. Dayglow.
Like I
Phoenix
said,
flexing.
downtown LA, that's already pricey.
True. The
VIP
Flatbush is
tickets
nice.
here. I mean, it looks like they're pushing this, and it's in December. I am. Hmm, I'm
It
not. I'm not.
is. Oh, you know what's funny is that the same day this is being hosted, there is something else going on in the venue as well. December 16th, 2022, there is a show at 8 p.m. in the same area somewhere else. Golden Voice presents the Awakening Tour. Kaivon, Kaivon, with Jewels and something something. They'll be in the venue the same day. So I might have something to do when I want to break away from the craziness that is Smash. But okay, so the venue is crisp. Okay, no surprise there.
Well, it also says that let's see, free entry with friendlies and side brackets at the LA Convention Center. But there'll also be a last chance qualifier on the 15th,
Mm.
Sunday top 8 at the Nova Theater. So
Oh, it's
basically the
only
day
there
before.
that Sunday.
Yeah. Well, it looks like finale is 16th through the 18th, and then Sunday is top 8. So
Okay.
I, I'm assuming that they want people to just pull up to get make this place look full.
I guess so. And they're taking the Genesis approach. Genesis does stuff like that where, the first 2 days are somewhere else and then day three is at the theater somewhere close. And so I like it. It definitely gives it a certain level of prestige, a certain level of honor, and I'm here for it. But um one thing that I really want to highlight and touch on is the free venue. I think free venue is very enticing. I think for a tournament of this stature, a tournament that has been backed in some sort of various way by Nintendo, licensed by Nintendo. I'll put it that way, licensed by Nintendo.
Mm,
And then, of course, they just recently got the new Pistachio sponsorship, a Panda Express sponsorship as well, and Grubhub. Like, I think a free venue is not out of the question. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody how to, spend their money, but I think if we've been on this journey with you, at the bare minimum, we should have free venue, especially for a tournament that not everybody can plan. If it's supposed to be a viewing thing,
yeah.
just pull up and see. So I like it a lot. I like it.
I mean, I definitely like
Um,
this in comparison to spend the grand. You gave yourself some opportunity here for something prestigious. Hopefully, a solid crowd turnout,
mhm.
and hopefully, the actual tourney itself is hype. So for this to be the finale for Panda Cup, you want at least the closeout that everyone's working towards the entire year to actually be something that's feels worth doing all of that for.
That's right.
Um, that's pretty much this has to be a big deal if you're them. I always get a little bit worried though when there's events like this that run so close to the holiday.
Mhm.
But I guess LA and Cali in general is such a massive scene that there's probably a higher chance of people being able to make it in town. But definitely a different story when it comes to traveling towards the end of the year for a
Mhm.
lot of people. Things get a lot tighter. This is like we're talking about the 18th of December with less than a week before, or yeah, less than a week before Christmas time. A lot of people have to make those kind of decisions. What they're gonna be doing or spend that time with and money. And Cali ain't cheap,
No, it
so
ain't.
like
No, it ain't.
so that's something to keep in mind as well. I mean, I understand. You're working your way through the tour and everything else here, and so it makes sense for it to come down at the end of the year. But it's real close to that time of year for a lot of folks who may have
Yeah.
considered moving some things around to make it to this event.
Yeah. Holiday time is just not a good time to, spend openly. I mean, if you got money, it's best to hold on to it because, Santa Claus is going to come through and empty that wallet out for you. And I hope it all wraps up well. I mean, Smash World Tour, of course, we got data from what they did last year, but this is the first one here for Panda. And with the way this is looking, it's looking pretty goddamn good. Again, pistachios, peanuts, Grubhub. Panda Express. I mean, those are three very big companies. I don't know
Yeah.
what type of hand that they have in this, but I'd imagine it should be a heavier one because Lord knows we need some money. We need
Yeah.
money we don't deserve. I'll put it that way. But the community definitely needs some money.
Some kind of sponsors, you know, we're at least seeing some brands that are recognizable here involved. So I'm sure renting out that space, even if just for Sunday, is not cheap.
No, that anything downtown LA related is just absolutely not. I couldn't do it. But shit, if they got the money, then run it. Now, on the topic of money being spent, we got to talk about Vienna Challengers Arena 2022. Now, this was a Smash World Tour only stop here because the Panda one is just North American only. This was a platinum tier event, and there aren't too many of these on the Smash World Tour. I believe Double Down was one. I want to say Pound was another one as well. And maybe there was one other one that was. But the prize pool, $14,030 euro, or $747.30 USD. Doubles prize pool, 930 euro, $911.26. If not to tangent too much, is the euro dropping? Am I tripping or something? I felt like is it always been that close?
That I am not familiar with enough to say whether there has been any kind of currency change in that regard. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me just given the overall economy for most countries right now, bouncing back from the pandemic. But I'm not sure in this case.
It has actually dropped a little bit, so it is a little closer, which is okay. Smash was like poverty anyway. $14,000 and $930 for doubles, and so this one was a little different. I personally reached out all year trying to go to this event. I was like, yo, I'm trying to pull up. Like, what do we got to do? What we got to do? And they was like, yo, we'll talk about it. You know, boom, boom, boom. And then like a couple weeks ago, they were like, yo, we just trying to keep the commentary in house. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really trying to bring nobody from the, across the pond. I'm like, cool, it's whatever, man. I ain't want to come anyway. Fine. But no, all jokes aside, I really didn't want to go to this. And it would have made for a great commentary experience because Bloom Forever took first place, getting 800 points towards the Smash World Tour circuit, running Bayonetta, Mii Brawler, and Pokemon Trainer. Now, again, we talked about Lima at the Panda Global event, Lost Tech City, excuse me, and Bayonetta's just not really a highly sought-after character anymore. People aren't lining up to play her like they were in the last installment, so it's nice to see people do what they're supposed to do. And this even kind of ties back to our conversation about what happens when games are kind of dying, or when games know that they're on their last go around the sun and they know a new title's coming. Do we take the time to, grind a little bit more, try to figure out matchups a little bit better? Yes, this character is broken, but let's try to hammer away at it. I think Street Fighter handles that type of shit very well. Okay, we know a new game's coming. It's probably in our best interest to grind this one as much as possible, not just only to be the champion, but to make sure I'm warmed up for the next title. Who wants to just go cold until the next game comes out? Smash, we didn't really get a chance to do that at the end of Smash 4. Bayonetta was fucking cracked, and all the other characters sucked. But there was like a month or two towards the end of the game where people were kind of figuring out how to fight her, and then Ultimate comes out and it doesn't matter anymore. But Bloom Forever, big shout out to you for running that with Bayo. Gluttony, the Wario extraordinaire from France, got second place, 675 points towards the Smash World Tour, as if he needs any more points any damn way. Okay? Abadangle, that is a name that I have not heard in quite some time. A Japanese threat ran Meta Knight, Palutena, Regular Suit Samus, and Pikachu, representing Shinobism. I'm butchering that. Gaming. And Sisuke, running Dark Samus, of course, coming through with 400 points towards the Smash World Tour, representing Giants Gaming. Big shout out to Sisuke. Leon and Trim tying for 5th and 6th place, getting 300 points, representing Esprit Shonen. Okay. And 7th and 8th place, 220 points. We got Space, representing what looks to be Inkling and Pyra, and Pelly, who I met actually in Vancouver running Sonic. So this is good. this is a good representation of players. I'm sure that these guys, or excuse me, these people would certainly love to come over to America, and they're fighting for the points to do that. Doubles was a little different. Leon and Mr. R, a name that I have not said, I don't think throughout any part of Ultimate, came through and won dubs with Leon. Gluto and Mika in second. Streaks and Curry Governor, who got third, and Space and Shanique got fourth. God, those are some tags, god damn it. Whatever happened to just Punk and Smug? Those are easy names, you know?
Markman. With that stuff you can, get on social media and brand out everywhere else without someone else taking it.
Yeah, it's true. That's
hella punks out there.
That's facts, yo. That's facts. This tournament, I think, was awesome. I think I linked Grands in the run of show, and I watched it earlier today. I gave it actually 2 watches. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping about the Bayonetta gameplay, but no. The Bale gameplay was very good. And Bloom, if you're watching this, big shout out to you. You're getting your points towards the Smash World Tour. I'm actually not sure what the standings even look like right now. Let me see. It looks like, okay, this is Melee. MK Leo right now has 3,625 points. Make no mistakes, friend.
Jeez.
He's motherfucking going. Gluto and Light are tied for 2,225 points. Good Lord, my brain is somewhere else today. Onin had a really good summer between Gommel, Combo Breaker, and Super Smash Con. 2,210 points. The Buzz and Riddles. What'd you say?
Yeah, we mentioned them a few times.
Yeah. But
I know we had a little chat about the Buzz too not too long ago.
We did definitely. Yeah, the Buzz is on a tear right now, 6th towards the on the standings, 1,985 points. So he's certainly going. But I want to highlight some of the international players. Of course, Meister and Riddles, Mexico and Canada. Not the international that we know, but 1,920 points for Riddles. Shuton coming through with 1,885 points. Sonics and T representing the DR and Japan coming through at 1,730 and 1,690. Now, some players that are on the cusp of getting there, but aren't quite there yet. We have, let's see, some notable names. We got Big D coming through from Canada, the western part, so I think up in the Vancouver area. 890 points, so needs to break into that upper echelon to get to that next round there of Smash World Tour Finals. We have Ouch and Jackal.
Nice.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
So yeah, it sounds like people gotta hit those 4 digits to start talking the big money opportunities.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. The competition is getting a little tight right now. I think as it stands, we got Viva La Smash, which is supposed to be another event. We have Battle Gateway 37, which I think is taking place over in Japan. Don't quote me on that. That's a platinum tier event. We got a Saving Mr. Lombardi 3, which is...
These names are just getting ridiculous.
Bro, listen. And whatever happened to the days of Rodfest, okay? Like, what the fuck is going on?
These titles, out of control.
And then we have, I believe Apex is the last event to get points, which is a very fitting ending, if I may say so myself. So, for my friends from that 24 to 50 range, which is like Senj, Syrup, Tarek, Pollo, Goblin, Apollo Kage, Abadango, Cosmos. These are players who are, I'll be honest, they're pretty household names for the most part. Jackal, Ouch, Louis Money. I would love to see them there. But, it ain't up to me. My job is just to talk. Me and Denny's job is just to cover who got their ass beat that following Monday. So, but we would like to see everybody go. It'd make for a good viewing experience. This last part here, Melee Summit 14 is here, Denny. I just want you to click that link, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when you see the outfits. Just give me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, well, we'll do that. I'll make sure it's up on camera for the stream first.
Yeah.
All right, here you go, guys and gals. So I mean, I can tell that this is purposeful
Mhm.
because clearly they're dressed like they're prepared for a NASA, exploration trip. And yeah, Smash Summit 14 at HBox, Leffen, Wizrobe, Zain, Mango, Pipsqueak, Jmook. Yeah, this is something, but it's I'm seeing the Coinbase and Papa John's. Maybe this is signs that they're moving towards some big money here. They're moving they're heading towards the sky here. Moving forward, getting some of that premium NASA level government money. We need like a smash government funded program.
Gotta keep it real. I'm getting Jeff Bezos vibes, bro. Didn't Jeff Bezos wear something like this just not too long ago? Him and two dudes and a woman, they all kind of linked up and they put on their
Yeah,
NASA gear and they were
they
like,
got
yo.
their origin, vibes. He has been talking about the future of space travel and such
Hmm.
with other Amazon employees and guests that they've brought along the way. Well,
Yeah.
how I have a question for you. How
Hmm.
would you feel if Jeff Bezos came in and someone had convinced him that Smash was somehow the the scene to put money behind, and they said, "Look, Jeff Bezos had a little conversation with Nintendo, and he is now funding Smash on the level of an Overwatch, but you're gonna get Amazon plastered everywhere in every shape and form moving forward. It's going to be a Twitch
Damn.
exclusive streaming platform for every tourney, and all the integration that you can imagine from the Amazon Bezos side is going to have to happen. But you're going to get incredible prize pools.
You know what, Denny? That's a tough one, bro. And you know what? No matter how you look at this timeline, bro, I'm on some Doctor Strange slash Loki in the TVA shit. It all goes back around to one king size issue, and that's the Smash community doesn't deserve anything really. You know, I could say the only good outcome, the only good timeline with a company with trillions of dollars, there has to be $1 trillion company. I don't know. The only good outcome of $1 trillion company coming through, the only company that should do it is Nintendo. Any other company would come through and there would be some issue with it. Smashers, first of all, hate money. They like poverty. But also, Amazon, that I think in any community would put the community up in arms. They'd be like, what the hell? Jeff Bezos, like, he's giving us money, but damn, we hate this guy. The only good outcome is that the only good timeline, rather, is that we need Nintendo to come through and do it. If Nintendo came through and did it, everything would be okay. We wouldn't need 2 circuits. We wouldn't need 4 some. I mean, we can still do all those things, but we need the narrative attached to one that this is the thing worth going to, and boom, here's the money. Jeff Bezos coming through, I would support it because I want to see my people eat. But I'm gonna be eating angry though. I'm gonna be eating, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be like eating like I'm in prison with my shoulders out and shit. Like, like I'm gonna be angry, but I'm gonna be eating though.
Understandable, yeah. I mean, this would be a big move on that end, but maybe I will propose this question. Maybe we'll make this an opportunity to experiment with the poll option for next week. Well, the week after
Mm,
next. Right.
mm.
Now, my question is, if Nintendo were to actually step up and say, we will get involved in the Smash scene, do you think the Smash scene, as it is right now, would actually reach the standards that Nintendo would set for a tournament, as far as what Nintendo's about, what they would suspend people for,
Mhm.
and what would be needed as far as making your tournament and your content part of that? circuit on Nintendo base level where they're leading the charge and bringing people in to either run the events or pretty much be in the forefront of that kind of content?
Dude, first of all, if Nintendo came through, we are not in a place for Nintendo to even be involved. And that's not even from a tournament level. Just even at a ground level, what Nintendo would probably want to do at a level, let's just say at a community level, right? There's so many people in the community who probably wouldn't pass just the traditional like Nintendo Disney style background check. And not even because like they're weirdos, whatever. Like I could just see Nintendo just not getting involved for a multitude of different reasons. Like, ah man, your credit score is fucked up. You're out of here. Like it could get petty to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, did you quit your job, bro? Did you not put you 2 weeks in and oh yeah, you done. You done. Ain't no damn way that you working with us. But Nintendo getting involved, I think Smash will be open to it, but I think Nintendo's mission versus what Smashers think they want. Because remember, we thought we wanted a circuit, then we got it, then we bitched about it. Then we thought we wanted another one, then we got two, and we bitched about it. Nintendo would want to get involved 110,000%. So I'm talking even down to the point where they would change the name of your tournament. They would change its mission statement. Like if they are doing a circuit, you best believe you're handing over the keys to your IPs to fucking Nintendo. There's no damn way you're not. There's no way players like with the names like Bobby Big Balls and shit like that are going to be playing on stream. Okay, that ain't happening. And Bobby, wonderful player, he's phenomenal. It just ain't happening. Okay, we almost had an Evo 2017. That one was on Disney Plus or Disney XD. Fatality was sponsored by Team YP. He was sponsored by Team U Porn and almost made it to finals day. That almost made it on television on Disney's channel. There's no way
you're saying Nintendo's not going to let that. It's not hitting the bracket.
No, that's not hitting the bracket. You're changing that tag.
Hell no.
Just out of pocket. It's not happening.
I really think Nintendo Smashers think it's about money. They either think Nintendo doesn't have money or they think that they don't care about money. No, they very much do. But they're also, things that are more important than money are your ideas, your innovative planning, the things that set you apart differently from other companies. There's a reason why they didn't only withstand the console war, but they have characters and shit. The mascot battle, Nintendo beat everybody. The console battle, they're still fucking here. Longer than all the other competitors they got. There's a reason why that happened. And it damn sure wasn't about the money 100%. It's about protecting the things that you create. Coming down to the Smash community is not a sure sign that you want to protect the things you make. If they do come down, there's no doubt in my mind that they want full control over everything. Stream rights, stream revenue, stuff like that. I mean, they might throw some money at a circuit or at your tournament, but what are you going to trade off? I don't think the Smash community really wants that timeline. That's like, bro, that's like Nightmare, Batman, Superman, Darkseid timeline. Like, it's not, I mean, it makes for good watching, good storytelling, but bro, like you don't these people, not you, but they don't understand like how much you lose when you let Nintendo do something like that. And I mean that with the most respect possible. Like you let any circuit come through and it's like, okay, y'all have 50,000 tournaments on this circuit. Guess what? We're only doing 20. All right. And these are only tournaments that matter. Y'all can host tournaments around, but this is the circuit tournament. Do with that information as you must. That's just boom, a mic drop.
I see.
A lot of production teams aren't going to be here. Bro, I'm going to be real. I don't even think I'm going to make it as a commentator. Nintendo gets involved. Uncle Rod is not coming through. I'm not going to be able to come through and get into Gold Plate. All right, they stopped me at the door, bro. They like, Rod, you're not coming through. You're not Nintendo safe. All right, we already got a 6-foot-tall black man. We don't need another one of you. Like, you out of here. I would know this because I've had this happen to me before already with Nintendo at EVO a couple years ago. They don't need another 6-foot-tall me. It ain't happening. It's not happening.
So Rod's basically saying that Nintendo will come in with the Death Note and all the commentators are just out of here. Yeah. It would be a wrap.
You would see, bro, if Nintendo came through 100%, you would see TK Breezy, Vicky Kitty, Coney, EE, God, who else am I missing? 3D Coney, Vicky, EE. Oh, Supergirl Kells, player and commentator. Shout out to her. We've had her on once or twice. Damn, it's really hard to pick, but those five for sure. You know what I'm saying? And they're just they've already done it. They've already done the rodeo. Oh, Toph, guys like that, they've already done the rodeo with Nintendo. All right, they want to be Nintendo people. So, and I mean that again with the utmost respect. Just long story short, though, to answer your question, Nintendo comes through, they changing everything. Like, and if that means that the community finally gets this circuit, this whatever that they're wanting, sure, community starts with our players, but a lot of people going to disappear out of a job. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, that is a very good point. I just wonder if in a situation like that, if it shifts more towards the community itself rejecting the idea, and then Smash as a whole on the decline, or if the community evolves because the people that are left behind are making more money because Nintendo's involved. Like the trade off there where, now we've got substantial prize pools. Less people are available to actually make the most out of that. But now we got more money we're making that we might be able to put on our own side events that aren't tied to the Nintendo Tour. Which is what happens with the FGC. You have players that, bring in the money throughout the year and they put on their own side events, with the homies. And it's not, something that's, sanctioned by Capcom or something, but it's building up its own clout on the side, and developing something else later on. Now, of course, Nintendo might be more of the cease and desist type than some of the other companies, but yeah, there could be a trade off there where does the community land, or what's left of, the community if there was more of a polished and I don't know, like just a richer side of things happening, where there's at least a future for the game that's tied to something that actually makes money.
I think a company like Nintendo that just values innovation over everything, like it's there's just no universe where you get the innovation and you get the money together. I mean, we've seen the type of tournaments that Nintendo has held. They've been like items on, free for all, 1v1 type stuff. Like they want to see the game played the way that they designed it. We don't play the game the way it was designed. We go in, we change the rules, we do different things, whatever. Hell, we run Smash titles from 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
And so there is no meeting in the middle with Nintendo. It's either, we are all in or we're all out. Now, I don't think that they would ever do like an items tournament. I don't think they would go that crazy, but you either give them all the say or they're just out. And Smashers want Nintendo in, but they also want to be able to boss the man in the overalls around. And that ain't happening. It ain't happening. He going to come through and do whatever the hell he want to do the way he want to do it. Respectfully and fairly. He is a fair king, I think. But yeah, rest assured, he's the one in charge, though.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta keep it moving because we've spent nearly an hour on Smash.
We have. Let's move on. You're right.
Quite a bit here. We got plenty of other news to cover in the esports world, including Overwatch 2, which will be dropping very soon here. They've already shut down Overwatch 1 over the weekend here to prepare for the new game. And we'll have plenty of coverage for you here at Shacknews as well, on the news end and on the website. So keep an eye out for that. But yes, Overwatch 2 is on the way, and there is plenty of changes, new things to go around. First, when it comes to characters and such. But yeah, or are you gonna be giving the game a try, Rod? Are you gonna be diving into Overwatch 2 at some point, since it is free to play?
Yep, I finally have a computer, a setup that's worth a damn, and I think it's just time. My shooter game skills have just been god awful. Like I was okay at Halo. Like I played the first so many Halos because that's just what my boys were doing, and so just I didn't want to be the homie not playing. I jumped in, so I'm okay. But Halo is not Overwatch. This is a completely different beast, completely different types of characters, which is something else we'll be talking about here in a second, and just really a completely different feel. And one thing we can't ignore, of course, is the free to play aspect. I know we Talked about that with Multiverses a couple episodes ago when the fellas came on, but the free to play wave is very enticing. If I wanted to become a competitive player, my matches are going to be streamed to YouTube. Still a little weird about that, but Twitch has also been acting weird too. YouTube might be the future, but yes, I'm going to probably give this a go, especially since they're doing this We Are Calling All Heroes um, Cup. Overwatch and Overwatch League are dedicated to making a difference. We strive to create an inclusive and welcoming environment for underrepresented genders. In Overwatch, we want you, our heroes, to join us. And I'm bucking with that. I'm bucking with that in a big way.
Yeah, I know we've had Briggsy join us on the show before, but there's definitely some history and other things involved in the history of Overwatch when it comes to both the harassment, both on the esports side and with overall players, and then the diversity of the cast itself. And wanting that to be a big factor as Overwatch added new characters and such over the years. So that seems to be something that they're definitely emphasizing now is wanting to make what they're calling new Overwatch, in the Overwatch community something positive, which I can, feel pretty encouraged about to a certain extent. We'll have to see how the safety side of things go down, but I think that the concept of what they're talking about here, as far as wanting to see things from the start go in a new direction for the community and for the overall game, is pretty cool. I think this is a good idea.
I do too. I'm a big fan of this. I think, and we've said it once, I'll say it again. Overwatch kind of laid a foundation for a generation of gaming that really wasn't here yet. And of course, with them, in my personal opinion, them being the first of esports that are kind of done like this. Excuse me. Of course, there were some bumps in the road. The first so many Overwatch leagues were kind of meh, and then of course the switch over to YouTube was met with a lot of pushback. But here we are. But honestly, Twitch is getting a lot of pushback. So maybe they had the Doctor Strange plan, was like, no, we know already, so we're just gonna jump ship. Who knows? But it's nice to see them back. And I think when you have a big boom like that, everybody's always like, well, how do you follow that up? What is the sequel like? Can you recreate that? This is Thriller. Okay, can Bad do what Thriller did? And I think at this point, it's not a matter of can we do what we did numbers-wise? Can we do what we did like impact-wise in the gaming industry? We're trying to open up doors the way that we did all those years ago with the first Overwatch. This time we're opening up doors for new people to come through, different people who aren't represented well. Like we want to see them, come through and be put on the big stage like, a lot of our white male counterparts. And I think this is awesome. I think this is a really good thing and just a good step in the right direction for Overwatch. They, again, did something that games really couldn't do back in 2016. 17 is when the first one came out. And it looks like they're kind of not reinventing the wheel, but making the wheel part 2. I don't exactly know what they're doing, but I like it. I like what I'm seeing here, Denny.
Yeah, there's aspects of, they want to create a few different things here, which I think is important for creating a healthy scene moving forward. I'm a little bit concerned, to be honest with you. Like, one thing I did notice here, while, watching through the video the first time, is that, while we're speaking of, diversity, and, of course, that implies to both in terms of gender and other factors,
Sure.
everyone that's speaking to me on the screen does not look like me. So
I know.
That, even from a marketing perspective, I mean, I get what they're trying to do here, and I'm going to go over some of the some of the more details on some of these things that they actually have on the website. But you got to have that come across on the screen as well from the jump. If not, regardless of the program you're trying to create, you got to start reaching out to players within the community, because I know plenty of them who have been big on Overwatch and such, from the beginning. There's plenty of content creators out there, and plenty of people are playing, folks who support, the actual esports teams. Those people have to start being brought in from the jump before you even go into this registering. And, of course, you can grow from that. But I'm really hoping that there's more people involved behind the scenes who were already approached before we even reached this point.
Yes.
Because as of right now, everyone that's speaking to me in this video, which is like, I want to say almost 10 minutes long, I ain't seen a brown person on here yet. So,
No.
so that's what I'm saying, and that's a bit concerning when you're one of the some things that you're saying to be welcoming from a community aspect, but it has to be true in terms of how you're putting that both on the screen, but also in terms of participation and across the board, how you're bringing that to me, and that's the part where I'm hoping to see more from. Now I do want to bring up some of the things they had in here. They did bring up some of their key points. So they split up some of how they're handling the Calling All Heroes initiative between equity, visibility, and community. And it looks like with the equity side of things, they say, that there are barriers that prevent many from chasing their dreams of becoming a competitive Overwatch player, creator, caster, or esports professional. In all aspects of Overwatch, we want participants to feel secure and welcome so that you can be the best version of yourself. The Calling All Heroes programs announced this year seek to create this experience for underrepresented genders. And they have like another calling here about aspiring casters. So they do want to get, more diverse, casting involved when it comes to the actual competitive esports scene for Overwatch 2. So more people on-air talent and on the mic and such for these events moving forward. The next tier here was visibility. We know how powerful it can be when we see those who represent us celebrated. Calling All Heroes initiatives this year strive to provide a platform that enables us to showcase and reward all members of the Overwatch community equitably, and we can't wait to see what you're capable of achieving. So that is their second tier, and then third tier, which I think is going to be really important here, is community. Which is they say every hero needs a community behind them, and in order to establish an inclusive culture, we must rally together to make it happen. With Calling All Heroes programming, we seek to create that community in a way that makes you feel welcome in Overwatch. We're ready to celebrate and share each other's skill, shots, cosplay, creativity, casting, and love for gaming. So it sounds like they've have ways for building this initiative. They want people to join the community, register for the program, and then there's going to be overall a boost of content they have planned to start getting the ball rolling to make this a healthy situation for people coming into the game, especially if I guess if you're some of these new players who are going to be reaching kind of like a steep uphill battle a little bit here because you have to play through the game for like 100 hours just to get the entire roster if you haven't played Overwatch before. That's definitely going to be a lot. But this is just something here. It looks like where they plan on being supportive for underrepresented genders, which is good to see. I just hope that there's also some attention paid to the fact that there is cross representation and other things that play into those things when it comes to how you have the equality and diversity shown moving through here.
And this is really good to see too, especially coming from again, Overwatch 2. I think, to have something like this, and yes, the people who are pitching it to me, bro, just in esports, we can't get, and I'm saying we lose, not you and I, but like esports, they just can't get like the race and gender thing down for some reason. It's like it's either one mission statement backed by like front facing other people or the other way around. This is a good step in the right direction. If I didn't know anything about Overwatch, me personally, this wouldn't be enticing enough for me to play because of that. I would still just play the game, but I think the mission statement is there, and I like the format. I think this is the type of boom that you want to make when your game is just coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you need some positive news and factors, and there's been valid criticism about the esports scene and you know how some of that goes because you know we've had folks like Briggsy and other people around you know have always been really vocal about both the community side of things, but also you know team side, organization side. There's a lot of different factors when you move up the chain here, and obviously Overwatch League as a whole is kind of built on being kind of like you know this big deal presentation, you know, with you know multiple casters and teams and overall events, you know, that the public can go to and get involved into and buy tickets and such. And if you're really trying to build that kind of thing up here, where you're trying to move on from people saying that you know Overwatch itself is only relevant because of you know porn or some other you know stuff out there that have been said about the game. I do think that YouTube, you know, being YouTube exclusive in the way that it has really hurt them because of what was established with Twitch beforehand. But, you know, if the game itself is actually fun to play, and that's the core thing, we reported here at Shacknews that, you know, they've had, you know, members of their core team, very important members of the core team, leave the company recently, you know, right before the game's launch. Well, we'll see if any of that factors into the actual gameplay and the fun factor here. And, you know, of course, we'll have a review for Overwatch 2 here at Shacknews as well in the near future to look forward to. So make sure you guys visit the site. But, yeah, there's some good here. It just needs to be some situations where I see that you guys are reaching out to people and not just waiting for them to reach out to you in some of these situations because this is emphasizing on the esports side. And so that means a level of professionalism and competitiveness that's already established with what Overwatch is. So if they're going to keep leaning into that, that means that if you're not getting necessarily the results that you want, there's plenty of ways for you to reach out and get some of that too, without it being necessarily all put onto the scene itself to do the reaching out. So, you know, ActiBliz, you know, you guys have gotten a lot of criticism for different reasons in this past year. So the initiative and people getting involved there is great to see, but there definitely needs to be a level of hands-on activity happening here behind the scenes before we even get to on screen, behind the camera, behind the mic and such, and who's talking to who. So I'm hoping to see more of that established as well as we move into the first competitive season for the game.
See, Danny, we just need more people like you on board at these esports gigs. I mean, I'm not saying that I like you here at Shacknews, of course, with us, but I'm saying, friends, if you need like you know guidance on how to do this the right way, I know a guy, your favorite villain, Denny Von Doom. You know what the fuck he's talking about. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, Denny Von Doom. Just saying, he knows a thing or two about esports.
I mean, this is true. But we do have
facts,
actual
bro.
Overwatch League, you know, starting up fairly soon here. They're kicking things off, you know, pretty much right at the time we're going to be heading towards launch this Friday.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the brackets here, get a little look for the Countdown Cup qualifiers.
Let me ask you this: as somebody like yourself, you've been in esports really just gaming. Like you've been in gaming for a very long time, and you've seen like new games come out, and then they immediately jump into like the cups and the qualifiers. Like, how serious? I mean, obviously I have to take this serious because there's money and this is on the schedule. But like, how serious can you really take the soon-to-be ass whippings? You know what I mean? Like new Street Fighters coming out. You know, let's just say they did like they start the tour directly after. You know, some of your favorite players are getting whooped on. Some players that typically don't do the ass beating are handing it out viciously. How serious do we take it? Because I think this is cool. Like, I love like we have this right away. And these are some pretty, almost that pretty notable teams. I know some of these teams, but what am I to expect from the gameplay with this being such a fresh tournament series?
Well, I mean, you have to assume that, you know, the competitive players have been knee deep in that beta when it was happening, and so I would assume that all the players that are involved here are on the same level of competitive advantage when it comes to that route. Now, obviously, there's going to be some big strategies, some big changes because, you know, for those of you that don't know, Overwatch 1 was 6 players, 6v6. Overwatch 2, 5v5. So there's definitely going to be a change as far as strategy. There's been changes made to some of the maps. And you have brand new characters, so we don't know quite yet how those are going to factor into some of the meta, which has always been a big deal of Overwatch and some of the team, comp and stuff like that. But I think it's a bit different here than in comparison to say fighting games because say Street Fighter 6 drops, it's the Wild West. You got 1v1 is players finding things out on the fly. Those kind of things are a bit more situational compared to something that's more team based like this, where folks kind of get an idea of what strategies are working on different maps and stuff like that. Arenas, none of that stuff matters in a Street Fighter or something like that. But on the other hand, someone might find some tech, that day. People aren't gonna have opportunity to lab that, during the tourney. And so suddenly you have somebody who might figure out something that works in the corner or whatever, and they're running through the bracket. Then people are looking at the replay video footage on YouTube or whatever from the stream, trying to figure out how they did it. And then next thing you know, the tournament is happening 2 weeks after that. Everyone's trying to do it before Capcom comes in and patches it out. So those kind of things happen. In this case, you got folks who are going to be coming in. Lots of different, new players who may not have been on the previous team before. But it could be an exciting time because if obviously if the league itself is successful, that means more money and opportunity for the overall players. And so you see how this holds up. I mean, as you can see, there's also quite a few teams here now, even with just the overall brackets. But Washington Justice, LA Gladiators, Florida Mayhem, Dallas Fuel, Houston Outlaws. So between both sets between East and West, there's plenty of opportunity to find someone to root for, I guess you could say. We'll see how big of a impact this has, early on, since we don't even know exactly how big of an impact the actual game will have yet. But it being free to play is always going to be a standard factor. People will probably try it out at the very least, but we'll see if people are still interested enough to watch the content and see if seeing high level Overwatch is something that people would actually tune in for. I do think that YouTube gaming, even though it has its plus sides, for Overwatch being what it was, and so ingrained into the Twitch side of things, it has hurt them really heavily when it comes to the overall viewership. I mean, Overwatch back when it was in its heyday was pushing ridiculous numbers. It could be a random Wednesday and they'd be pushing a good 600,000 to 800,000 people just on the Twitch stream watching, not even including people who may be watching from their own streams or whatever. Definitely a major drop off on that part, but there's still opportunity here. I think for the game itself just has to be fun. It's the same factor we run into. We've talked about Halo. Even though they've got their own esports scene that's throwing around a decent amount of money. Is the viewership still going to be there? Is it fun to play?
Yeah, and that's a good point because I think no matter what, I get this sense of when I see everything Fortnite has, I used to think, oh, the shooting genre is just everybody wants to be the best and the most popular one. But then it hit me. I don't think it's a matter of being the best in terms of competitive viability. Obviously, look at Fortnite. Now, Fortnite and Overwatch are two very different games, but I can't help but to feel that Overwatch as a game kind of laid out the foundation, the template for other similar style games to come through and rise to prominence. And I almost wonder if with Overwatch, is it more important to regain that competitive viability? I mean, it's going to be played because there was a first game, there's a demand for the second game, and it's free to play. So that opens up the door now. The goal isn't necessarily to be the best game ever. If that's how it's regarded as, sure. It almost feels like they want that staying power that it always should have had. That consistent, Overwatch is a good game. Let's throw it on. Let's play it. I feel like Overwatch ended up getting this is an awesome banging ass game. And then boom, night and day shift. We don't want to play this shit anymore. Now, the people who were playing it, competitive people, obviously were still playing it. but like that streamer fan base kind of died down a little bit. That content creation that we seen all the time died, and it's like, damn.
Yeah,
But maybe
I mean
taking the
the
angle that they're
competitive
taking now.
landscape has changed. You have your Apex Legends, you've got your Valorants, you got all this competition that popped up over the years now that wasn't there before. When it's focusing on your heroes and everything else there. All that's happened, and to stay competitively relevant is not easy. We'll see if they can pull it off. I mean, I do like that. One thing I want to bring up is that the competitions here that are in the bracket. I mean, they're
Mhm.
having true LAN meetups here. So even some of the internationals are kicking off on like a Busan head to head
Mhm.
for full LAN play. So all this stuff is happening, in person, and that in itself, I think, is good to see. Um, and they're still pushing for having people in, you know, person for these events as far as the crowd and buying tickets and such. They want that kind of element and moment, I guess, tied to what this is going to be moving forward, which I think is going to be somewhat important, but we're also still, in some ways in a pandemic. So
That's
you
true.
gotta kind of hope that things can work out in a way that is favorable. Um, but this is also, I mean, ActiBliz, even though we haven't gotten the full sale to Xbox and Microsoft yet, but this is a major company with tons of money to throw around. So while there's some red flags of some of the development side of Overwatch 2, we'll have to wait and see if there's any kind of esports staying power with uh, things moving forward. I mean, I think one thing people want to get behind is actual players. I think
Yeah.
the more that players themselves are things that people are following as far as the audience, the more likely that they're going to be following along. If someone you know from Shanghai Dragons is playing as one of the new characters and making them look pretty pro, you might start seeing more of those highlights and stuff that people are getting behind if they're still playing as well this first
That's
week or two.
true.
So I have to keep an eye out.
That's definitely true. Definitely true. So to move on here really quick, Overwatch 2, friends, play it. It's free to play, God damn it. You're gonna bump into Denny. You're probably gonna get your ass beat, but you're gonna bump into Denny, probably. You're gonna bump into me. I'm not gonna beat your ass in the game. In fact, it's gonna be a complete opposite. But
I
you
mean,
can
we
bump
might
into your
consider,
favorite
we
uncle.
might try and get some folks together. Maybe we'll do some big team building one day.
Mm.
I know Sam's been hanging out in there. I know he wants to go fight some more ants in Grounded. That's going to happen at some point. But maybe we'll get some folks together for an Overwatch 2, at least, around this time where it's going to be, hot for a little bit around launch. Maybe we'll get some people together and try some different team comps and get destroyed by some randoms online. Who knows?
There you go. You'll bump into your favorite uncles, Uncle Sam, Uncle Rod, and your favorite evil uncle, Uncle Denny Von Doom, will be up in there running it up pretty soon.
Good
So
times.
we talked about First Attack being this weekend, and of course, the Big House is another big event that's happening this weekend. The other one, though, Twitch Con is happening this weekend, and
Yeah.
they are going to run some brackets, but not the traditional brackets that I'm probably used to. They're going to do some different things. Twitch Rivals is popping up for the IRL experience, and it looks like they are doing. That was my fake fanfare. That wasn't good. Balloon World Cup Regional Championships presented by Prime Gaming. They are also doing a Minecraft MOBA tournament, Apex Legend Mode mashup, Zero Build finale featuring Fortnite, Twitch Rivals Ultimate Challenge Gauntlet, and then the Twitch Arena presented by Verizon, with the official partners being Dunkin' Donuts, Delicious, Pizza Hut, Verizon, Crypto, State Farm. It's all right. Capital One. It's pretty damn good. Danny, what are your thoughts on some of these tournaments, bro?
I mean, I wonder if being sponsored by Dunkin' means that they're going to have Dunkin' available in the venue instead of whatever overpriced San Francisco coffee slash Starbucks combinations happening in there. But this is definitely diverse as far as the lineup goes. I think that having some fun with Apex is definitely smart. Uh, Zero Bill's been real strong lately, with the competitive scene for Twitch rivals. I mean, we had some solid showdowns. I know we brought up things there before for different reasons because of who wasn't able to play in some of their events. But there's some good opportunity there for some hype with the Zero Build stuff. There's been some solid community growing over that side of things on the Twitch rival side. But yeah, I think the same way that there's a level of community building and also just a fun factor involved, that also goes into effect when you have content creators who are playing these things in a competitive level. They bring in their communities as well, and now you have opportunity to watch that kind of stuff live. So I think it could be a lot of fun as far as bringing in a different kind of energy. Obviously, Twitch Rivals has been a thing for a while, and they've also had it established with some of the other TwitchCon events. But I think this is an opportunity here for Twitch to kind of flex a little bit of what they do well when it comes to putting on both a live event, but also having content creators with their own brand involved and making the competitive aspect fun to be a part of in real time, in person, at your big show.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely a big factor here, I feel like, when it comes to just the choices of which games were chosen here. I mean, having like the Balloon World Cup Regional Championships, which, I've always seen a little bit of, here and there, on like, they'll put like 30 seconds on Sports Center or something in between some random, clip of the day or something like that. But I think it could be a lot of fun, having something like that at a live situation, and having to go down the way it is, during TwitchCon. Could be a lot of fun.
I think so too, bro. I think TwitchCon, and a couple episodes ago when we had a slightly different cast, the running gag was, is Twitch Rivals a competitive thing? I think you and I, of course, coming from an actual competitive background, we have a very different outlook on what we see with Twitch Rivals, and it just kind of is competitive viability. I think anything could be competitive if you put that narrative attached to it, but when it's really when it really comes down to it, are these professional players? Like, what's at stake here besides money? Like, is there a championship? Like, are they playing for the medal? Like, I mean, like Punk said so many evils ago, I don't give a damn about the cash. I want it the first place. I want that money. Or not that money, because I want that medal. I want that gold. And I've always felt that type of way about TwitchCon. I think this is a good opportunity for it to be the best of both worlds with like the fun, but also like I'm watching my favorite people be fun, but then I'm also kind of watching them. It's almost like in the old TV show movies where like the school town has a fair and they're throwing pies and shit at their favorite teachers, or it's like the damn dunk tank. You hit the thing and then you fall into the water. Is this what that reminds me of? And I like it. I think it's cool. I like that they're doing something a little different. I know this other one was, God, where did it go? Did I lose it? No, I didn't. TwitchCon 2022, the Go Guesser Cup Championships. Go Guesser is among Twitch favorites educational games wherein players are challenged to identify a location based off of images from Google Street View. Hosted by geography nerd, Go Guesser, streamer, and comedian Mia Abuchan. I hope I didn't butcher that. I'm very sorry, Mia, if I did. Twitch.tv/books and whatever else.
Yeah.
I like this type of stuff. I think this is cool. They're not dressing it up to be like, I don't know, Tekken World Tour or anything, but
it's unique.
It's unique, and there needs to be something like this. Competitive games are streamed on Twitch, as are a lot of different types of things, which I'd imagine they're going to have a big music area here, a big interactive area, but the tournament area, of course, is what gets my blood boiling. I know it's what makes yours boil as well, too, to some degree. This is the type of shit I'm looking for. I'm a geography nerd. Am I good at geography anymore like I used to be? Probably not. But you would catch me in line for this, though, Denny. Like, if you lost me at TwitchCon, I was like, damn, where the fuck is Rod? Oh, he's at the Go Guesser Championship event, losing. But I'm in that bracket, though.
You gotta add in some of that. And that's the part where I think is what Twitch has somewhat of an advantage in, and how they should really take more advantage of in different ways, is that there's already built-in communities for a lot of this stuff. And like we have, like like you put in here with the Pog Champs tournament, with people who want to learn how to play Pogs. I don't remember the last time I've seen a Pog cap, but you know, they have folks who are willing to teach people outside of turning it, or if you just want to enter and figure out how to play, come learn the rules and stuff. That's cool. I know folks who they play chess every week on Twitch, and they teach new players and also have games with other successful players, and sometimes they meet up together to just play some games against new players and give them some advice. Or same for folks who are hopping on and trying out some different stuff, different moves and stuff like that. And they explain the strategy on stream to them and to other players who are just watching. Those kind of things happening in an environment that may have grown out of the stream and being transferred into something happening live in person makes sense. That's what the TwitchCon experience should be like, being able to extend from outward. You're meeting some of these content creators in person. You're having fun times together. That kind of thing should be the focal point of what Twitch is. And Twitch has, different panels. They have different live events. You got Meg Thee Stallion coming out here for a performance. Like all those elements that should be put into a fun factor for why I should show up at a TwitchCon. The prices of San Diego and hotel fees and everything else here, all adds up. But if you create an experience where people can both enjoy being around their favorite content creators and such, but also being able to create content out of what's happening live in the moment. The main thing is in the moment. Something that people kind of like forget about to a certain extent is that all this stuff is happening in the moment, and then it gives it a piece of value that's more than something that's pre-recorded or released after the fact. There's a reason why you're watching stuff like Smash tournaments live or something like that. Same with your Evos and such, because people want to be part of that moment in time when someone wins the big one and that's that kind of stuff. It's the reason why you're not watching, a Tekken tournament pre-recorded, chilling, a week later that they just put up and they're trying to sell it to you.
There's that real-time experience, bro. Like Denny just won. Let me go over to Denny's Twitter and see what he said about it. Like the whole live in-person content game is, it's just unmatched. And I agree. Like I would like to see more events like this at TwitchCon. I'm surprised that they don't lean heavier into tournaments. And again, not everything has to be like super competitive. It could be like some friendlier shit. But good Lord. I would love to come to TwitchCon and just compete alongside some of my favorite content creators. Raffle off the chance to play with Dr. Lupo or fucking, I don't know, who's another guy. Anybody, bro. Like any damn body who streams to Twitch.
You can bring in celebs and such. The same way they do with the actual rivals. T-Pain competes with some of the rival stuff. You could have some of that kind of stuff happening in real time in a fun environment with like some of the celebs, Big E from WWE, or some of these folks coming out here and having a Twitch rivals, WWE event or something like that, or 2K bringing in players. Like there's different options and opportunities there. But hey, I'm not getting paid by Twitch, so if they wanna make some calls, but there's things that have been brought up before, and it also comes down to manpower, and there's a lot of things going on, I'm sure, behind the scenes. Every time that there's any kind of TwitchCon event put on, there's a lot of people that are trying to make that happen, and most of the time there's a ton of understaffing happening too. So I can imagine trying to actually do any kind of tournament organizing probably be too much for a lot of people, on top of planning everything else here, because you have your normal Twitch rivals and production team that's probably working 3 different stages at that point.
That's facts.
Your keynote event, your meet and greets, your actual panels, people showing up in person for different events, your Megan Thee Stallions, all that stuff happening at the same time. I'm sure they are overwhelmed. So the idea of pushing towards more of the tournament stuff is probably a little bit harder for them to do without pushing that budget up. But again, I'm talking about a company owned by Amazon, whether they're seen as separate from that or not. We'll have to see how successful this event is this time around. Now, coming out of the pandemic, and everything else that happened, beforehand, even in comparison to, the one earlier in the year over in Europe. There's still a lot of factors here. With some of the negative stuff that was released from Twitch, news-wise, in the last 2 weeks.
That's
And,
facts.
But they said that they've reached capacity and that the actual event itself is sold out. So we'll have to assume that that's sustainable enough for there to be another one next year, just based off that.
Yeah, and I think it also kind of puts things in perspective for them. Like, this could be the first big, like, really big, mega-sized TwitchCon. I mean, they're all good. All the TwitchCons have been good, but this one seems like the one. And it makes me wonder, like, well, what's after this? I mean, of course, every event wants to be bigger, wants to be better. Every video game wants more characters, more maps, more stages. But it's like, I think there's some internal fixes that we need to work on with Twitch before we think about taking the URL to the IRL and making it that Disney World experience that we want it to be, everything decked out in purple. We need to make sure that things are right on the inside. And bro, I know we're probably going to talk about it Thursday, but that 50-50 split and a lot of other shit going on at Twitch, I don't know, man. It got me feeling some type of way.
See, I mean, for me, it's hit or miss in general because every TwitchCon has not been a great experience for me.
Okay.
On that level, but that comes down to different things. It just comes down to like some different aspects of what's involved in TwitchCon, whether you're behind the scenes, whether you're involved on the panel side, diversity side. Some of those things that come a long way. Some of the folks that were involved before that were really championing for some change in as far as how TwitchCon works are no longer with the company. So
that's true.
We'll have to see if things hold up. There are factors there that I think could be harmful in the long run. But at the same time, when Twitch made this kind of switch, keep in mind this is the first time that we're getting TwitchCon back-to-back years in the same venue. Over the first couple years, every single year was a different location in California.
Has it really been?
Yeah, like they had San Diego, then they had Long Beach, they had San Fran, they had it was moving around.
Jose.
Yeah, San Jose. It was moving around every single year, so people never knew how much capacity wise, what the end actually being in the venue, whether it was actually going to be something safe or set up in a way that's actually beneficial for you. Ticket amounts and stuff like that were bouncing all over the place. Hotels and everything else trying to get that stuff together, and then now they signed pretty much like a 3-year deal with San Diego to keep that consistent. So now you have people knowing, okay, this is where the venue is going to be. I can set up for a hotel deal here or whatever, and getting that kind of stuff planned out back-to-back years. Now you start seeing more of that, the planning go into place. Okay, well, now we know what we're working with as far as, venue size, organizing for your competitive side, stuff like Twitch Rivals, stages, all those things start being planned out a different way than when you're trying to get contracts signed for, a different location or a different city back-to-back years every year for several years. A lot of different things come into play there, especially when it comes to, having to reach different regulations on the state side and city side and safety-wise and, concert capacity. And, the one year that we had the concert on, they had a live show and TwitchCon party on a boat and everything else involved in that kind of regulation. And all becomes a bigger factor. Not online. But I digress. We have our last topic of the day before we move into the good old soft talk. And this one, I'm gonna let you kind of handle since you're the Pokemon guy.
Oh, yeah, well, let's just jump into this real quick. So this one happened in our Midwest backyard. This one's actually probably a little closer to you than it was to me.
Yeah.
This was the 2023 Pokemon Peoria Regional Championships. They did TCG and VG. So, of course, big shout out to Pokemon. Big fan. Shaped my childhood in a lot of ways. This game, friends, has a real prize pool. TCG had a prize pool of $21,500. Right? 1v1 trading card game. We have first place going to Tord Reklev, $5,000 prize. And he got 200 points. $2,500 to Calvin Connor with 160 points. And then third through fourth is Yahusha Tate and Zachary Kreckler, both getting $1,500 and 130 points. And then, of course, the list kind of trails on from there. So, of course, big shout out to the Pokemon Championships. We also ran, I believe we did Pokemon Go as well, offline. Now, this one had a slightly smaller prize pool, and by slightly, I mean severely smaller, with $1,900 USD, which, whatever, it's Pokemon Go. First place getting $1,000, Hot Pocket 777, $500 to second place, Inhofe. Third place gets $250. We got Trent's ZSC or ZC or ZCZ. Good Lord. And then fourth place, $150. We got Beach with 2 E's, 7. So, of course, that happened. Pokemon, of course, back into the forefront. There, what feels to be like no days off with this genre of gaming. Like they just boom, here's the event, here's championships, and we back in the thing. I'm with it. I like Pokemon cards, I like exclusive stuff. As long as these events keep happening, they keep shilling out exclusive product. Somehow it's going to make its way to eBay, and then somehow it's going to make its way into my pocket, and it's going to make its way onto retail therapy. So keep hosting events, Pokemon.
I mean, the closer we get to, Scarlet and the other ones releasing here, keep pushing all that energy.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a little bit more in the rundown. We had some League.
Oh yeah, you're right. My apologies. So we got some League of Legends as well, friends. Of course, World is happening. It is happening actually kind of as we speak. It's a ongoing thing for our friends who don't know how League of Legends works. They got money, so they can host things all the goddamn time. And I'm here for it. So it looks like earlier today, we have Mad Lions with 1 win up on the Saigon Buffalo esports team. It looks like they beat them 3-1. As it stands right now, I'm going to hit refresh. We got Team Loud versus Team Detonation, Focus Me. They are throwing it down right now. It's game 4, playing knockouts. So yeah, like this is starting to get a little hectic right now, man. This is supposed to wrap, I believe, October 16th, or is it shortly after that? Does it go all the way to November? I think it goes to November.
Sure. I think
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Far. I know that they've got most of the listed the last 2 weeks or so on here. It looks like. So yeah, it looks like the 16th is up as far as in this listing, but yeah, plenty of league action going down between now and Friday.
This actually goes to November 5th, so this goes quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I see.
Holy shit, bro.
Yeah, League doesn't play around. I mean, obviously, Worlds is a big deal for a lot of folks, big enough to get Lil Nas X involved. Which we'll have to have some kind of talk at some point about the Lil Nas X side. Maybe it might be on the Thursday show.
Dude, I'm down.
There seems to be some mixed reaction to Skywalking.
Yeah, man.
Is it the hero we needed in this case, or is it just because of it not being some other pop star involved or something?
I mean, does it get any bigger than Lil Nas X outside of and not to change the subject too much? I mean, with the exception of K-pop bands and shit, does it get any bigger? I mean, I could almost argue that we got people
that is it. They've had K-pop bands before.
That's true.
That is the comparison, But is that really? Is it? It's a detriment to the song being bad, or is it more so people just complaining that it's not a K-pop band that's doing some anime video for this year's Worlds?
That's true.
Something to ponder over for a different conversation. But I'm just saying, it seems like there's a bit of that energy in some of the comments when it comes to how things went down with that one. Because you got folks like Ed Sheeran who was putting out some kind of Pokemon collaboration music video, Pokemon animation and battles going down, and I had no idea that there would be any kind of combination of Ed Sheeran and Pokemon happening. But yeah, it's out, and people are, oh my god, this is amazing, and look at that animation, so high quality. But Were you saying the same thing about skywalking? I'm just wondering.
Mm. Stay woke, bro. I'm on to what you're on too, man. I think they even had a Post Malone and was it Sia or Lady Gaga? They had three of them for the Pokemon shit. Didn't hear any complaints about them. Post Malone came through and sang a Hootie and the Blowfish song. I'm pretty sure. But we giving Lil Nas X shit. What's going on here, y'all?
I don't
Something
know.
ain't right.
I could deal with less Post Malone in general, but you know I can also deal with less milk. So let's move into sauce talk because that is going to be our last few stories here, or as we move into sauce talk. Unfortunately, I mean we did just talk about TwitchCon,
We did.
and some big things are happening apparently moving forward here in the future of TwitchCon. They seem to have some new plans that are bigger than just staying in the same venue.
Uh-oh. And it looks like milk is the official beverage of TwitchCon. Over Mountain Dew, over Red Bull Denny, over Monster and G Fuel, mate. Hell, I'll even take some Bodega water, bro. We got milk in there, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, apparently milk is the official performance beverage of gamers at TwitchCon, according to this email that was linked here. So, Mountain Dew's time as the big deal and your go-to choice at TwitchCon is now over.
Mm-hmm.
You must bow to the dairy moving forward here. I can only imagine, you know, when you're dealing with the robust smells inside of those TwitchCon halls. Now that you have your fellow gamers grabbing bottles of chocolate milk, knowing that they're lactose intolerant, I'm sure there's going to be some fun had moving forward.
Listen,
Here. When you're sitting in those seats, watching your favorite team playing, and somebody was like, you know what, I need some of that 2%. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing experience sitting behind them.
listen. I'm holding myself accountable. If I pull up the TwitchCon ever, and you know it's like, man, this man Rod is stinking. I need you to know how I'm moving. All right. I'm a air TwitchCon out. All right. You got me drinking milk all weekend. Look, bro, draws are gonna be a mess. I'm gonna bring extra underwear, bro. You can't have me drinking milk 3 days in a row, nowhere, let alone even in my cereal. I can't do it. You got gamers built like me. I don't know about you, Denny. I'm lactose intolerant. Bro, the minute I drink too much milk, I can have some. In cereal, if it's a good ratio to milk cereal, boom, I can have it. Some ice cream, sure. You got me just chugging milk, bro?
I mean,
Like,
you know, in this was going to be a hot venue in the middle of California. You know, I just don't think that grabbing a bottle of milk is going to be what does it for me.
bro,
You know,
it's going to be people lined up to the bathrooms. I'm talking, you could host a damn line convention. This is line con, y'all. The lines are so damn long that there's a line to get into the line, and the stalls are going to be a mess. Look, I love milk as much as I need to love it. Makes me big and strong, according to mom and dad. All right, and I think it did its job. But all right, we need to do something different. At least, can we get some skim options, some 1% options, something? I can't be walking around drinking 3 or 2% milk in the heat, Denny.
you know,
I'm telling on myself.
I gotta go with Sam. You know, oat milk is my go-to nowadays. You know, I get some oat milk. You know, some silk or some Oatly or something. It is. You know, I dabbled with the almond milk for a while. It wasn't quite hitting at the same level. You know, oat milk has a different level of creaminess that works for me. It was more like regular milk, flavor wise, and then that can work. But you know, saying you gotta get the protein gains. I'm not worried about protein gains at TwitchCon. All right, the protein. I'm sure there's enough of that coming from the actual food I eat, the pizza and such, or whatever's going down. But you know, keep in mind that you also have these situations where folks are standing in line to get into different parts of the venue, to get through the opening doors every day. all that's still happening. Get your badge pickup, whatever. Last time I went, that was all happening outside. So with the beating sun beating down on you there while you're melting, and then being met with the cold, supposedly refreshing milk at the start of your day. And I just imagine that there's going to be some inner turmoil happening inside your stomach at that point.
By the time I get to the front of the line, I'm gonna have to break away. Like I'm sorry, I gotta jump out of the line and go all the way to the back again because I gotta take the Browns to the Super Bowl.
You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. Your boy Rod here, he's gonna be in line, and then this is gonna start playing. All right, you're gonna hear that sound. All right, and he might not make it to the toilet in time. Okay. We don't want that to happen. So, look, Mountain Dew as mixed, as it can be. Sugar factor is high. The live wire and all other stuff can get a little bit out of control. They banned Vulch because that was a little too far down the wrong direction. But at least I knew I was getting with the Mountain Dew. Now, it's a little scary out here. Milk, yogurt, smoothies, milkshakes. I don't have time for that in the halls of TwitchCon. On top of the normal, I mean, last time they had people tossing out deodorant in the aisles. So that's just this is where you're headed this weekend. You gotta keep that in mind.
True. Be careful, friends. Stay dangerous. Bring extra underwear. All right, because if you know you can't handle milk, all right, just bring an extra change of clothes like me. Because milk and me. There's no such thing as silent but deadly. Like, it's just done, bro. I gotta burn it. I gotta get a new pair or whatever because I just ruined it. It's bad. All right.
Imagine meeting your favorite content creator, at TwitchCon, and then the bubble guts hit because you were drinking milk, and you just ripped the loudest blast in front of one of your content creator idols.
Man,
and you gotta try and play it off. I mean,
my biggest fear is meeting like Valkyrie, Pokimane, Nico. Doing a meet and greet, and I got a stomach full of milk, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited to meet you. I hug. They hug me really close, and I just. I'm gonna be like, girl, I'm blaming that on you, girl. What you doing? When people start asking questions, I'm gonna be like, damn, man, Nico just farted, yo. Like, what is going on?
That is, the fact that you're gonna blame it though, is even more savage.
Contingencies, baby. I'm Batman.
This man Rod would be just like, I'm your biggest fan, and then, all right, party over. It's gonna be too much. Well, let's keep it moving. Our next story.
Oh my god!
So hefty trash bags, a pretty well-known brand.
Mm-hmm.
They're making some new moves here to prepare for the season. They are pushing new pumpkin spice trash bags because you don't have enough pumpkin spice in your life right now. It's going to happen even when you're taking out the trash.
Gotta tell you something, Denny. I don't like when I think of like trash bags that smell like things. I get like you're a gamer, you haven't showered, but you putting on Axe body spray. You know what I mean? Like I get like your room is a mess and it stinks, but you lighting candles. It's like we're not alleviating the issue. We're in fact making the issue worse. This is one of those situations that I think Albert Einstein or some fancy scientist man was like, sometimes the solution is worse than the initial issue. I already don't like scented trash bags because the scents are too goddamn strong. They're like grandma and her friends bingo night strong. So like I get that bag open and I'm just, sinuses are done for the day. But then you got pumpkin spice. Yeah, and you got pumpkin spice and it's and fish. I cook a lot, so I got fish bones and shit in the trash and all types of stuff. And I'm pretty good about taking my trash out. We got 2 cats that like to rip shit open. I don't want to smell fruit or pumpkin in old ass trash. Just bring back the days when trash bags smelled like hard plastic. I don't want pumpkin spice bags, Denny.
I can agree with you as far as the idea of scented bags. I'm not a cinnamon pumpkin spice fan. I'm not going for the pumpkin spice options. Now there are other fall. It seems like people forget that there's other flavors tied to fall.
Hmm.
Besides the pumpkin action. I mean, pumpkin pie, sure, that's fine. Me personally, I'm going for sweet potato pie over pumpkin pie anyway. But
Hmm.
there's things like apple cider. Why don't we get any apple cider energy? Like apple cider donuts,
Mm.
like apple fritters. But for some reason, it always leans so heavily on the pumpkin and cream and cinnamon mix that it's just too much. But
It's too
that would be
much.
too much as well in my trash can. Um, gonna have to, revoke the
It's
scented bags.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, friends. It says the hefty cinnamon pumpkin spice ultra strong trash bags, friends. Combine strength, odor control, and reliability and expect from hefty with the seasonal cultural phenomenon that is pumpkin spice. First of fucking all, it's not a cultural phenomenon, okay? This is don't do that. Pumpkin stuff is good. I do like pumpkin, but I gotta draw the line.
I mean, if you
God was
go to
not
enough
paying
suburbs,
attention.
you will. It is a phenomenon. If you go to enough Starbucks lines, all right, between the Uggs and the pumpkin spice, there is a strong trend.
Look, I'd be inclined to believe that God was not paying attention when whoever made hefty pumpkin spice bags created them. He was busy, was doing something else, and this is the byproduct of that. This is not going to work for me. Trash bags will be sold on a first come, first served basis as if these are Air Jordans while supplies last. Did pumpkin spice just jump the shark? Let us know. I'm not even going to answer that, Denny. I'm upset. I'm not here for it.
I I'm just glad that I don't have people that try and force pumpkin spice on me to a level that fall is my favorite time of year. Obviously, because my birthday is always during the fall. I have a day that falls the day before Halloween, so I'm always tied and entwined with this time of year. But
Mhm.
I'm not into the spice levels there. There's plenty of other opportunities for you to, you know, make fall happen without it being tied to anything like this. But on the other hand, we do have our last sauce talk story here, and
Oh,
this one I'm curious what you think about because I do enjoy a good Nutty Buddy, but this is something new.
I do as
Kellogg's
well.
unveils their new Little Debbie Nutty Buddy cereal. Now, I enjoy, a good mixture of chocolate and peanut butter. I mean, that's a combination that works very well
Mhm.
in most cases. But here, do you think, first off, the way that the cereal itself looks is a bit concerning. Like,
It's like dog food.
it looks like some dog kibble or like some nutty buddy bone treats that I'm supposed to feed my pup in the other room.
Mm.
So that's a bit concerning. But would you be willing to try the Nutty Buddy cereal?
Oh yeah. I mean, partially because I can probably get it for free because my father works at Kellogg. So yeah, I would definitely give this a try. um, I think who we are generationally, Nutty Buddies are they're a classic. They're up there in that, and I'm not ranking this by tier, but they're up there in that realm of like Swiss rolls and um, ho hos and hee hees and all them other damn ones that probably don't taste as good now because we're adults. But yeah, I would give this a go. I am historically known for eating boring ass cereal. I'm a honey bunches of oats, honey nut Cheerios. I like boring ass cereal. I'm an old man at
I
heart.
mean, those are all good choices. I have evolved from some of the sugar options that are too sweet.
Yeah,
Give me a
I would
little
give these a go.
special K from time to time. berries.
Denny, I'm curious for you. Would you give this a try? If somebody was like, yo, look, it's life or death right now, gun to your head. You're going to either eat this damn bowl of cereal or you're going to meet Jesus, Jermaine Christ. What you going to do? You eating this cereal, bro?
Well, okay. So the thing is that I'm just going to read what it says there in the description because this is the part that's concerning me. All right. It says new Kellogg's Little Debbie Nutty Buddy cereal features crunchy cereal pieces coated in fudge with sweet, chocolatey, and peanut butter aroma. It didn't say flavor; it said aroma. And then after that, it says while offering smooth, creamy chocolate and lightly roasted peanut butter flavors for the quintessential Nutty Buddy experience. Now, the whole thing about Nutty Buddy is that the Nutty Buddy has layers that you crunch into. So, is this going to be layered peanut butter and chocolate in each of these bites? Or are we just taking peanut butter crunch and tossing some chocolate over it into these little bites and then tossing it in some milk, which is suggested price of $4.99 for an 8.2 ounce box or $5.99 for a 13 ounce box here, according to Walmart. It starts here in October. But that's the factor for me where I'm like, it's not really a Nutty Buddy experience unless I'm getting that kind of layered taste there from the jump.
Yeah. I didn't take that into consideration. Like, the Nutty Buddy experience is a very distinct experience. Like, I think of all those candies that hell just aren't fucking good for you or snacks. That one, with the wafer and the peanut butter and the chocolate is a very distinct bite. It's a very distinct taste experience, if you will. And I feel like I'm not dragging it out. Like, it's very different from like biting into like a moon pie or like a Swiss roll where like it's just kind of soft and mushy and whatever. How do we replicate that in the form of cereal?
I also want to bring up that they mentioned that this cereal is now the third attempt here by Little Debbie to become a cereal, in which case the previous two brands attempted were Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies and Little Debbie cosmic brownie cereal. So at some point, looks like in 2020, these were attempted. So they tried to make cosmic brownies into a cereal, which I think is that's a rough choice to make there.
They were like, you know what? The world's ending. It's 2020. We might not get a chance. Might as well go out with a bang.
Yes, it sounds like there was some kind of formation made between Kellogg and Little Debbie where, like, they were trying to seal some kind of cereal pact. Like, it's, I don't know, Constantine or something, and Keanu Reeves wasn't there to stop it. And they formed whatever these abominations were. And now we've fallen into line with Nutty Buddies being the next one in line. So, yes, I'd be willing to try it, but with the way that cereal looked, completely different from anything looking like a Nutty Buddy, I am not confident that it's going to have the same level of flavor and taste that you would expect from a true Nutty Buddy.
Can we just, what we got to do? We got to call Little Debbie. Something's going on. She's not doing well. And she's just like, we just got to keep doing snack cereal. Whatever happened to just making your snacks better? I had a cosmic brownie. I don't know if that's a Little Debbie snack, but I had a cosmic brownie just the other day. I went to the bodega, I do every morning.
That's what I was saying. The cosmic brownie is the other cereal type. It was the one they tried first.
Yeah, like give me that or expand on that. I had a cookies and cream cosmic brownie. I've had a Halloween themed orange frosting one. Expand on that. Oatmeal cream pies? Denny, nobody can look me in my eye and tell me that when you pulled up to grandma's house or one of your auntie's house and they threw on TV, here's your cartoon, what type of snacks you want. Nobody can tell me that out of all the options that were laid out, oatmeal cream pie was the first one they wanted. Nobody can do that because they'd be lying. That is some fear factor shit. That's literally get Joe Rogan on the phone and be like, for your next challenge, I want you to eat an oatmeal cream pie in the form of cereal. Nobody's winning that episode, Denny.
It's a very dangerous path to be put on. You know, you'd have to. That sounds like something that Jigsaw would be involved in. You'd have like, you'd have a little Jigsaw doll rolling into the room. Now, Rodney, you may commentate Smash, but tonight you'll have to smash 5 of these oatmeal cream pies to leave this room. You have 20 minutes to get through this entire box of Cosmic Brownie cereal.
Fuck. And it's like the triple camera shot of me crying in different angles. And it's like I'm covered in I'm looking at the clock and shit, and then the damn smoke's coming in from the vent because I'm not winning this, obviously, so he's trying to make it easy on me.
The choice is yours.
I'm just like, damn, man, I fucking hate oatmeal cream pie, man. This ain't right, man. This ain't right. Yeah, man. I wouldn't last a day, man. I just wouldn't last a day in the Jigsaw universe any damn way. They know it too. They're very, very minimal black people in that. You know, hey, what are we doing, guys? We just all need to die so we can make this as quick as possible. All right, we all not making it out of here. So, I'll go first. Okay.
I mean,
be sure to remember me as a legend.
One thing I will give this franchise credit for is that they managed to crank out 10 of those movies almost in back-to-back years. Like, I just was watching Saw last night, the original Saw, which came out in 2004. And every year from 2004 to 2010, they had a new movie out. 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Them movies were coming out. They're cranking them out every year and making back more than their budget every single time. That is quite impressive for a concept that should have never ran that long.
What can we say? People like their gore. I stopped keeping up with the franchise in sequential order after 3, and then I started like dipping my toes in, every so often, when I was dating, date night, boom, throw on a Saw film, we're kicking it, watching TV. But like I never really like the first 3 were like, and then they just kind of
so what we gonna catch this? Definitely some weird places. And then of course, you had the recent comeback with Chris Rock, which came out of complete left field. He was somehow sold them on the idea and concept. It was like, yeah, I wrote the script for a new Saw movie and I want to star in it. And sold them on that somehow. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting the Samuel L. Jackson in it too. And that happened. But before we run out of time here, some more things happened. Because it's a new month, which means that we have to announce the winner for Shacknews for the month for September 2022. Of course, after, the surprising week we had last week, it was just not enough to pull out the month. But 8 Mikey is back on top for the month. It looks like he has taken the reins here. I mean, 8 Mikey's run is somewhat similar to Roman Reigns at this point. I'm not going to acknowledge him, but this is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive here. 8 Mikey winning by a substantial amount here. He put in the effort and time with the Shaq Pets points. My man's is swiping, and he's swiping hard. But I do want to bring up the point that, Mamu123, who we had win Shacknews last week, was not that far behind. I think if he had gotten that motion going a little bit earlier in the month, we may have seen a new champion.
Or maybe even like done a little bit more in chatty. It looks like Mikey kind of fired off on cylinders on literally all the departments. Article, chatty, of course, Lolan and Shacknews, Shaq Pets. We're missing 2 from Mamu123. So my friend, if you're watching, I think the area that you should tighten up a little bit more in. I mean, of course, the overall points, but those 2 areas there specifically is what 8 Mikey kind of has over you right now. And it ain't impossible.
Definitely it ain't impossible. There's definitely moves to be made. I mean, to be fair though, we got plenty of action on the Shaq's Pet side from plenty of the Shaq staff. We got Sam in chat. He's racking them up. obviously. Putting in some work there with the Shack Pets. Greg Birkington himself, Bill Rumpo, Johnny Chugs. Pretty solid stack there. Morgan in the list. But despite that being the case for Shacknews for September 2022, there are more factors to consider here. Mamu123 did win Shacknews for the week, the last week of the month. He took home that number one spot.
Yes, sir. Turning it up. Beat 8 Mikey. Beat X Rumpo X, Surface Sam, Johnny Chugs, Morgan, if I'm not mistaken, Asif, and Greg. Beat a lot of people. Those are some heavy fucking hitters there. And Mad Dog Delphi 97 won Chatty. And Mamu won Shack Pets as well. So I think Mamu's thinking with like the right part of their brain now. Not to say that they weren't before, but I think once you get a taste of, oh, it's possible, I could beat this person.
Yeah,
like you start kicking
he
it up.
Broke the streak, last week, and now he's just on a tear. I mean, look at that point total. It's nearly double what 8 Mikey brought in this week. I mean, that's a lot of Shack Pets there. A lot of action. He added a new pet as well. New opportunities to get that W. I mean, that's impressive. So let's keep an eye on Mamu123 moving forward here. We might have a brewing competition as we head into the later months of 2022. Things to keep in mind. But as always, you can use Shack Pets. You can join the ultimate battle for cuteness and become a legend as well with your pets. Add them, show them off. Get those holiday sweaters together. Get those Halloween costumes going. You like to put those, witch hats on your kitty cat, or little vampire cape and such, on your pup. Now is the time to take advantage of all of that cuteness and win some battles on our free mobile app. You can get it today. Download that joint for free and join in on the first legendary moment here, where we get some full Halloween action. I'm going to be taking part in it. I'm already going to let you guys know. All right, I'm willing to put some costumes on my pet to win some of those battles, to get some more swipes in from the community. It's going to happen. You might see some pirate pup. You might see some superhero action going down. You might be Captain America. You don't know.
Uh-oh.
But you can join in on too. Get in.
You can join
in.
Get up in here with us. The water's fine, okay? We got, of course, Shack Pets. Everything that we do here at Shacknews is free. But if you really want to help support the channel, I write about it in our show every time we do an episode. You can support the channel, okay? TwitchCon is here. It's September, okay? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of reasons to sub. And, of course, we have some of the bangingest ass fucking emotes on the planet, all right? A lot of handsome people that are emotes, and the emotes are only getting more handsome, not handsomer, more handsome. So, yes, please tap in with us. If you want to catch what we also do, you can maybe go over to our YouTube channel as well. We have 2, Gamer Hub videos and, of course, Shacknews. We got reviews and previews and interviews and all types of stuff. I just did one with Light, best player here in the United States, plays Fox in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There's that and plenty of other ones. So please tap in with us. That's where you'll catch also the VODs from today's episodes and all the other wonderful programs that we do here at Shacknews. You'll catch them over there as well. Also, check us out, shacknews.com. That's your centralized one-stop shop for everything that makes Shacknews, Shacknews. Okay? We do articles, pretty much all the same things that we do on our social media sites, but it starts there first. That is the hub. We're on Twitter as well, verified, mind you. Still trying to work on getting the rest of us verified. Twitter seems to keep ignoring us. We're going to fix that soon. Check us out on Shacknews, all right? And also on social media. We're on Instagram, too. We're the wonderful Denny Von Doom here, everybody's favorite local villain, is doing the damn thing and curating that into the most bangingest, greatest millennial Gen Z experience that you could ever ask for on Instagram.com, okay? Check us out. We do great work. What else do you need?
Well, hopefully you need a little bit of Steve Tindall because he's up next.
True.
Stick around, enjoy the show, and thanks for joining us for episode 152 of the Wide World of Electronic Sports. We will see you in 2 weeks because next Monday we're off. So
That's right, friends.
be easy, and stay away from that Buddy Buddy cereal.
That's
All
facts,
right.
yo.
Peace.